Yeah, U3, live from the underground.
Yo, it's your girl DJ Baby Blue Diamond, and you tune in to U3 Underground, Unsigned, and Unknown. We have a special guest in the building. He is young, he sings, and he raps, and he's from San Antonio, Texas, my hometown. Let's give it up for Nez Moe.
What it do? Thanks for having me on the U3 radio, Baby Blue.
No problem, no problem.
What's going on?
I love having singers, and of course that you rap too, so that makes it a plus. So
No.
so now that you sing, you rap, you also are a songwriter. If a label was to approach you, what would they need to come with so they can grab you up? Because you know you already sing, you already rap, you already write your own music.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing you asked me that. Well, I would say most around there would creativity rights all the way. Creativity rights all the way. That's a must. Creativity rights all the way. You want to be able to have everything that you control at what you do for as creativity. That's the most guaranteed part. If you enjoy doing songwriting, if you enjoy doing your own personal raps, right? That's personally for me. So, of course, creativity rights, and of course, if they're coming with a nice incentive, that's a plus. That's always going to be a plus. But of course, creativity rights to everything, to my own projects. So, pretty much that.
What came first, singing or rapping?
Rapping. I used to go by this name, Nemo. I was Nemo. I'm still known as Nemo, but around everybody else.
The fish Nemo, like finding
so
Nemo?
I was a rapper. Yeah, like the fish, Nemo. A lot of people don't know that was my original name. It still go by that. A lot of people know. But that was my name, and I was a rapper. So of course, rapping came first, and then I didn't know how to sing. I sucked. Couldn't sing nothing. And I went to choir, and that's when I learned how to sing. And then singing became, part of my thing. So it was the rapping first that made me. Then the singing came. So thank you to choir. Shout out Mr. Shorts.
What do you enjoy more, singing or rapping?
Singing. I enjoy the singing more than I do the rap, because rapping is easy. Anybody can rap. So just like you did, shout out to you. Shout out to you. People don't know that you rap. That was nice. But of course the singing came by, but that's the first thing I enjoy. So other than rapping it, so.
Well, our last guest on our show did not want to, show his vocals, but I'm wondering if we can show a little bit of your vocals to the people so they can hear you sing a little bit. For those who didn't get to hear it, like I heard it, because he came out of nowhere, because he's talking about the battle. Okay. I really not a rapper, but he's talking about the battle. And when he battled someone, he came out with the vocals too, so.
Damn, put me on spot with that one. No, not like the way you came up with the battle. You surprised everybody. You shut it down. That was good. That was great.
Thank you, because I'm not a rapper, so.
Okay, you put me on spot. Okay, what song do you want me to sing? I'll give you that. What song do you want me to sing?
You can do your Love Music Soul Child. I like that. That's a dope song. Do that one.
Okay. Music Soul Child. Okay. Love, so many things I've got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. 'Cause there's a possibility that you look at me different enough. Ooh, there it is.
In the moment I know
this is the first moment I spoke your name.
That's the
Only
song.
know.
I know that by you being in my
In my
life.
life. Ooh, let me go for a minute with that
That's the song. Bring back the good old music, man.
song.
Speaking of the good old music, because R&B is not like it used to be. R&B is now is more popish, is more hip hopish. You can talk about Chris Brown. Like Chris Brown started out doing the real R&B, and now most of his songs are kind of like hip hop songs. He's not really singing too much. It's a lot of auto tunes. You feel like that feel good music that we used to listening to is gonna come back, or nah?
That's a good question. Me and my brother were talking about that the other day. Of course, he has his little differences, but I do see it coming back. I do see it coming back. I do see soul coming back too, because you got to think about the artists that we do have. No matter what it is, it's always gonna bring it back from the '90s. That's where it came from, and it's even furthermore.
Yeah.
You have artists like Bryson Tiller. That's '90s R&B. He just puts on a trap beat. You have Ella May, where she gets her original sound from Chris Brown, but she's more of an R&B. You got her more of the women. The bringing back the R&B sound. Of course, you had Tink. So that R&B sound 90s is coming back. So I do see it coming back. Of course, the auto-tune is always gonna enhance the voice.
Yeah.
But I do see it coming back. That's most definitely. That's a definitely yes.
Now I know labels are probably pushing that hip hop R&B sound and the auto tune sound. Now, would you be against it if you get signed, or would you still totally away from it?
I wouldn't be against auto-tune. Because believe it or not, everybody's favorite rapper now uses auto-tune. You can either sound computerized and sound good with it.
Drake.
You can sound very harmonized. A lot of the very pop are very auto-tuned. They're just to a different frequency. So
and it also depends on how you use it, because you can overuse it or you can use it just enough.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm into all type of music. Don't get me wrong. It's just that type of style. I mean, if you make it, and it's good. I just, that too much of auto-tune ain't really good. But that's the wave. So a lot of it's good, a lot of it's not. So it's just like you said, the way that you use it, it's all that matters. Actually, you don't want to sound too computerized though. That's the most definite.
I agree with that 100%. You don't want to sound computerized. And then sometimes you don't get to show your real talent too. Like T-Pain, T-Pain started off with the auto-tune, and then years later we found out, oh, he can really sing. So.
Right. Yeah. T-Pain definitely. And yeah, T-Pain, and you got to give Kanye West too.
Yeah.
T-Pain was good with it though. Everybody wanted to sound like T-Pain at that time.
Exactly. He did. They did. I agree with that. Now, being young in the music industry, how is it? Is it hard to get older artists to listen to you, or is it about the same?
Being young in the music game is very challenging. It's a challenge because you're young, you're adapting to your environment, you're getting, you think, this about the business, you think, this about the business, you're jumping in, making connections, So it's fun too. It's fun. So I mean, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Actually, you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. But it's challenging per se. I would say that's mine. It's challenging.
What makes it challenging? Is it because like the older generation doesn't want to listen to you guys? Do you feel like the older generation aren't giving you advice, or?
Well, per se, it's not. For me, it's not the older generation. It's the younger generation.
Oh, okay.
It's always going to be the younger. It's always going to be the younger generation. The only reason why I say that for the most is because to this day, my mom, she's like, I don't know, like 40 something, right? So she up in age. So she's still young, but she's still up in age. Her time is different. So when I hear her singing a song on the radio, people up in age are gonna get with it if they hear it on the radio. Especially if if they hear like my little brother, they hear it on their tablets or whatever. So
Yeah.
per se, it's the young that makes it challenging, having to get with the young, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The younger crowd. That's the hardest part because, these Generation X, I'm gonna call it because this generation, this is what the generation is. But Generation Z and, Generation A, they're very fast, the new generation. So they're, they want, everybody wants something new. So it's hard to please them. It's the younger generation that's going to be, they're the soul for this new music. So I would say it's the younger generation that makes it a lot more difficult having to, because they're at the end of the day, little kids are going to be the ones to, oh, I like that song, TikTok with everything going on. They're the ones that hear it first, the youth. So that's the hardest part.
I agree with that.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah. Okay, you're the first artist that said that. Usually young artists always say, the older generation don't want to listen to us and want to give us advice. But you're the first one that broke it down like that, which is true, because that's who you have to market to. You have to market to like the high schoolers and younger, because that's what's trending. They know what's hot, what's not, and they're hard to grasp because they like that trap music with the beat that they can dance to. So if you're not making that kind of music, talk about drugs and shooting up somebody and stealing somebody's girl, they're like, we ain't trying to listen to it. So it's hard when you make that real music.
Oh man, it's the funny thing you said that. Like that's basically what it is. They like that trap. Well, I tell you, they like that trap, and it's so many. Trap is now its own subgenre of it's crazy. It has subgenres.
Yeah.
It's a subgenre that has subgenres. It's so crazy, but that trap of 808s, if that's all it is, that's they love to hear, that real talk, you know what I'm saying? That street talk, that they get you this mood and then I'm gonna do this on this mood. It's all about mood.
Exactly. And half the stuff that the rappers talk about, they don't even know. They can't even relate, but they love singing word for word. Or they don't even know what it means. You ask them, what does it mean? They're like, I don't know. I just like to sing it. I'm like, okay. So it's just, yeah, that's how it is.
I call my little brother doing that same thing. He likes the baby, right? But he's a younger, he's 11 years old, saying the cuss words and everything for the same thing. He doesn't know what he's saying, but he's getting there,
Yeah.
But
my niece, same way.
That's what's
TikTok 24/7. I'm like, I'm tired of that TikTok. But that's where it's at for the younger generation. That's what they do. Now, do you feel like you need a gimmick to make it? Because I know a lot of young artists do that gimmick, or they have like those gimmick songs, like the guy who came out with that song Mop, and everybody in that mama just mopping. And I'm just like, really? This is what y'all like?
Oh man, you're talking about the mop.
Yes. And and I just feel like I can get like young kids doing it, but I remember I went to a club with people my age, like 30 and over, and the DJ played that song, and you see these thugs pretend mopping, and I'm like, do y'all see yourselves? Like, do y'all know how y'all look? And I just don't get it. But this guy, I know he's making lots of money. People like his music, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
wow.
So I'm trying to figure out, is gimmicks where it's at to make it, or can because I know there's a couple artists who do that real R&B, like you said, like LMA, the guy that was on that Drake song, I can't pronounce his name, it starts with a G, and like other artists that I listen to, but you don't really hear too much about them compared to, like you said, the trap music, the gimmick rappers. So it's kind of hard for them to get their name out there.
No. I know. I'm most definitely for you on that. Man, I like the mop though.
Oh, you like it? Oh. I like the fact that he was clever with it, but if you just sit there and just like look at people, I'm like, well, you guys just like, I don't know. I guess it's fun when you're doing it by yourself, but when you see like a group of people doing it at a club, then it kind of like, okay, it's just, I don't know, it just threw me off. It just wasn't as I just
Well,
wasn't expecting some of the rappers I know that be like, I'm a thug, and then they start doing that. I'm just like your thug just went out the window or something. Like, I don't know. It's just it just threw me off, but I don't know. Let's talk.
no, I'm on definitely face. I've seen that too. I've seen that. Man, like you, that's a great example. The older people doing it, you know what I'm saying? You know, man, that's well, that to be really 100% with you, gimmicks, they're not bad, you know. Like I said, everybody, like, there's this thing, you know, I got one. Every rapper feels like they need to have this catchphrase, right?
Well, I feel like catchphrases are different from gimmicks, though, because like Young Jeezy always had his catchphrase. Gucci with the bird. Rick Ross with the. I feel like that's not a gimmick, though. I feel like gimmicks is more like Boot Game, for instance, how he started off stealing stuff from stores and now he became a rapper. Like, that's a gimmick. I feel like
kind of like, okay, well, more or less. I feel like, you know, those type of gimmicks, well, that gimmick itself, they're not bad until a certain point to where, no, if you just like there's this thing called overusing, you know, or just now, you know, okay, this, and now you're just trying to do that, be ignorant with it. Okay, there's a difference between that as well. But on 100%, like, if that were brand, that's because at the end of the day, you're a brand. So if that what, you know, gets your brand, or if that's your branding, then okay, get it, like how you live. I understand, you know, everybody, there's so many ways to get in this game. That's one of the ways, you know. But pure talent will get you in the door, you know. A lot of these people that do have gimmicks, not saying that they're not talented, you know, they do have talent, you know, but that's what helped them get in faster, just because that helped them. Not everyone should do gimmicks like that. Like, with that whole Boom Gate situation, you see where that went, you know?
Yeah.
That's what would happen if you overuse of that, because that was dangerous, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That, you know? But I'm not saying they're bad, or I'm not saying they're good, but I wouldn't say
it's just on how you use it.
Exactly. Just don't overuse it. You know, if that's what gets you in the door, you know what I'm saying? If that's what shines you in, that's what your brand is, and that's what your niche is. Okay, I get it. It's all about that when it's your niche, you know, but there's a time not to and there's a time when to. If overuse of that, that's, you know, but hey, like I said, if it works for you, it works for you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, they can go hand in hand on that level. But the Boom Game, that I don't know about that. That was wild. I remember watching that on Vine. I remember that.
Let's talk about your EP that you are working on, or your album that you're working on, any new music you're working on. What can people expect to get from it?
Well, for me personally, just everything and anything that I've experienced, I've went through, and what I've seen other people go through and experience. Well, I want you to more listen with an open heart, because everything I do talk about, I just go with what I'm feeling at that moment. So everything I've been through, everything for as, you know, because I could talk about breakups, I could talk about, you know, love, I could talk about situations, but do know that everything that I do right is from past experiences. So you get this is me, you know. So with an open heart, pretty much everything that I, you know, experiences or past experiences that anyone can go through, you know, especially a young crowd, you know, especially when they're growing up, coming up, you know, stuff like that. But basically all around, that's what my per se on it is. You know, you won't know until you give me a shot and listen, so you love it too, you know, most definitely.
Well, we can't wait to hear new music from you. I know it's going to be super dope. I know a lot of people are going to love it, especially if they love the sample that you gave us, Music Soul Child Love, one of my favorite songs. You know, I love 90s R&B, and hopefully you'll keep that, you know, the soul music or the good R&B music that we all love. Hopefully you keep that alive with your music, because I know that's what people want to hear. even though they do want to hear the trap a little bit. They want to hear that real R&B too, not just trap music all the time.
Hey, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know though. Like, I like trap too.
I do too. Oh, don't get me wrong. I have my moments. I love Miss Mulatto. I love my trap music too. But you know, we don't want to hear it 24/7. It's like I love my trap music too, but I know I'm not listening to it 24/7. Like 1 minute I'm listening to trap, next it might be early 2000s R&B, next minute might be 90s, it might be pop. I listen to it all, so but I like my trap music too. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
Roller coaster in the car, right? Just like ooh, ooh, ooh. I feel you though.
It's like I like my trap music when it's good. Like I don't know, like I couldn't get into the mom song, but I know that's not really trap music. Like not too much dance music. Like if it has like steps to it, and I'm like, but I can get into the trap music. But some songs with the steps to it, I'm like, yeah, nah. Cause some of the stuff be wild. It'd be too crazy. It's not simple like it used to be. Like it used to just say to slide, you know, dip, jump. But now they be doing weird stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's too much. I'm like, oh nah.
Okay, since you're on that trap music, then what do you think about that song Thick?
Man, when I first heard it, I didn't like it only because I heard it through Instagram and TikTok. And you know, they know how to play songs out faster than the radio because you keep hearing it. So at first I didn't like it. But then when I finally sat and listened to it, because I did a little mix with it, I was like, okay, I see you. It's kind of dope. I didn't like the part where he was like, the thick. It made me stutter. I was just like, really? That little part was kind of corny, but I was like, okay. And now I hear it, I'm like, what's up, Shay? Okay, what's up, Dewey? I was like, okay, I can get with it. But I think that's what puts me off on a lot of songs nowadays. Just like how the radio plays stuff out, TikTok and Instagram, and the kids will play something out where I'm like, I just hear a little clip of it, and I'm like, either I haven't heard the whole song, or I'm like, oh, I can't stand it. Like for the longest, I didn't like that song. What's Happening? None. Don't mind me just watching. I'm like, oh, this song again.
Oh yeah. I didn't like that one either.
At first I did it, but then when I actually sat and listened to the song, and I'm like, okay, I get it. But when they just play out that one part, then I'm like, y'all mess it up for people who like enjoy music. It's like I ain't want to. Oh, when I actually sit and listen to a song, I'm like, that's what they're saying. I never heard the whole song. I just heard like a clip of it. Like that one song, what is it that was like, hey, off that juice, codeine got me tripping. That song, I was like, okay, I like this little part. Let me go listen to the whole song. And I did, and I liked it. So I was like, so it's a plus and minus. Sometimes I hear good songs, and sometimes I'm like, nah, this ain't it.
And see, and that's what it is. It be the melody. It be the little hooks. That's what it is. You need to have some type of melody in the song, a little catchy, like, oh, okay, hey, what's that one song? And then what song you talking about? Oh, that's
exactly. And then sometimes you get to hear weird songs that you don't know if you like it yet, but you might like it. Like I heard this weird black guy who like sings like a White Walker, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about him yet, but I don't know. It was just, but I don't know. It's just.
I think Trippie Redd's the only one that can pass for like type of stuff like that. Him, Juice, you know, X, trap metal, the whole genre.
That is very different. Well, thank you, Nez Moe, for being on U3. Before we let you go, give us all your social media links so we can check you and your music out. We're definitely going to have a song at the end of this interview so people can hear you out. But give us all your social media so they can follow you.
Okay, most definitely. I want to say thank you for having me on U3 Radio.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, it's always been best rocking with you. Where you can find me at is social media will be Nez Moe on Instagram, NEZ_MOE. TikTok, Nez Moe, find me there, NEZMOE. Facebook, NEZMOE. Twitter, NEZMOE with 2 E's at the end. So that's pretty much everywhere. I'm everywhere. SoundCloud, just all you gotta do is type in Nez Moe. Type it in Google and then pull up everything. So.
You heard it straight from his mouth. Make sure you go ahead, search him, look him up, listen to his music. You won't definitely not be disappointed. You will love his music. You will love the singing as well as his rapping. So you get double feature, which is a plus.
Yeah.
You don't get that from many artists. And this is your girl, DJ Baby Blue Diamond, and we are signing.
The way you talk, you can be my private dancer. You can be my right, just how I like. That's how I like. You can be my private dancer. You can be my throw it back, then arch the back. Throw it back. You can be my private dancer. You can be my smooth, slow, take you home. Let me take you home. Let's go. The way she move around, I like it. Yeah, she put that work in. Drop a meal, tryna get a deal just from how she twerking. So let me get it dance and go all out. Now watch how she rock it side to side and do it with no hands. I know I'm hypnotized, shawty best shot it. Now I'm returning for some more, turn me into an addict. Now watch her climb up and down that stripper pole. Top notch entertainment, now she got me throwing more. And right now, I gotta have it. Adding up and multiplying, how she far from average. Can tell she wanna come on with me, cause I'm a savage. Sit by you behind blinds, I show you massive. Yeah, see how she looking up on my baggage. Weird thoughts going through her head on what I'm packing. I got just let me take you home. Take it up them blue faces, baby girl, just take it slow. The way you talk, you can be my private dancer. You can be my right, just how I like. That's how I like. You can be my private dancer. You can be my throw it back, then arch the back. Throw it back. You can be my private dancer. You can be my smooth, slow, take you home. You can be my private dancer. I said, toot it up, I love the way you dance, the way you strut your body with those hands. So don't stop, I'm tryna get on that. The way that you're moving, that's why I can't fall back. You cause a temptation, the way you grind on me. I love your affection, you know just what I need. You my sexual habit, and baby, I'm a fiend.